Hi folks, Kenny the Vaping Heed back again. Not with a review this time, more of a vlog, a rant, a bit of what's going on in the old vaping world. So all I'd like to say is thank you very much for joining me. I hope you're all doing absolutely fantastic. Today I'm vaping on the Fatality M25 RTA, which is sitting on the Invader 4, and I'm actually vaping a different juice today, folks. I'm vaping the old V juice, Purple Rain, which tastes a bit like a tune. And of all yous, I don't know what a tune is. It's a lozenge type sweet that most people take for colds to help them breathe more easily. Simples. So today we're talking about all this vape malarkey that's going on in the world. Most recently the India ban. Haven't really heard a lot about that one. Just people said, oh, India's banned vaping, and that was kind of it, then everybody moved on. Not much media coverage on it. Even the odd the odd reviewer that I seen that mentioned it didn't really go into it much detail. So at the end of the day, what's it all about? Well, I'll start by telling you a few simple facts that might help you change your mind for their apparent reason. There are an estimated 106 million adult smokers in India. India is the second largest country with a smoking population on the planet behind China, who have approximately 300 million smokers. The potential ban would cut off the market of 1.3 billion consumers who could potentially be customers. Smoking in India kills roughly 900,000 people every year. 35% of adults chew tobacco. Chewing tobacco also comes in flavours like chocolate. India is the third largest producer of tobacco on the planet. The Associated Chamber of Commerce and Industry estimate that 45.7 million people rely on the tobacco industry for their livelihood. India exports $1 billion worth of tobacco products every year. The Indian government has stakes in tobacco firms. ITC, one of the largest Indian tobacco producing companies, has a 28% stake by the government. So therefore they are profiting from tobacco as well as tax. So there you are, folks. Make your own conclusion on that lot. Definitely about the dollar, don't you think? A lot of critics, etc., have said that basically India is more hell bent on protecting the tobacco industry than they are in public health. Their excuse was fucking shocking. It was just the youth vaping epidemic, and the youth think vaping is cool. What a load of bollocks. It's all about the dollar again, folks. It's as simple as that. It's they're a massive tobacco producing, using country. Vaping is the competitor. They're going to fucking kill the competitor, and they have done. No peels, no phasing out, no flavour bans, just gone. Apparently I think there's supposed to be about 40 million vapors in India as well, so they're all totally knackered, so they'll probably just end up smoking again. So what do? And there was very little media coverage, etc., so you know, it was all in just ban smoking. Oh, sorry, smoking, ban vaping. So, blah, see ya, done, gone. I think everybody's all just too focused on the hype and what's going on in America at the minute, and they're kind of taking their eye off the ball of what else is going on in the world. India is a very large landmass. They're going to ban vaping. That's a big chunk out of the old vaping manufacturing producers, etc. pockets over in Shenzhen there in China, you know what I mean? So, will it lead to price hikes? It's a possibility, isn't it? Got to get the profits from somewhere. Yeah, it's scary, scary stuff. But it's like everything else. The world in which we live in, everything revolves round the dollar. And now, boys and girls, over to America. Right, so, America. There's another one. What a shower of crap that one is at the minute. Again, money, as per usual. The most recent statement by that governor of, I believe it's New York, who are coming in with flavour bans now. He more or less said, yes, vaping is better than smoking. Yes, so what? Really? So what? So what? What are you talking about? So what? You know what I mean? Bloody hell. That or a kick in the bollocks or what? But it is what it is. America, I believe it's something. This is my theory on it, right? I'm trying to keep it simple as you can because there's all sorts going around now. But the main states that are banning it are the people who are the states who are under the it was the Master Settlement Agreement. My idea, or if you can correct us if I'm wrong in the comments, but my idea of it was in the early days of smoking, when it was big and popular, like 50s, 60s and all that, 70s maybe. When people were smoking cigarettes, there was no warnings on the cigarettes packets of any health issues. There was nothing, everything was hunky-dory, smoke your bollocks off, happy days. Then our Royal College of Physicians in the UK done all the studies on it and linked smoking to various illnesses and deaths, i.e. cancer, heart failure, pulmonary disease, all that, COPD and all that kind of stuff. They told the Americans, and like we're in the same position now, they told the Americans it's not safe, or it is safe, and the Americans ignored it and they carried on. And then before you know it, people are starting to die of cancer or get ill or keel over heart attacks, etc. And these people decide to start suing the tobacco companies for telling there was no health risks to smoking. And basically, there's lawsuits left, right and centre going at the tobacco companies, which was, threatening to financially ruin them. So they kind of approached the government and various states, or the big government, whichever, offered them an annual payment to stop people taking them to court and basically, fleecing them of their money. And this was the MSA, or the Master Settlement Agreement, so that would have come. But the problem is, these states were thinking, yeah, right, we've got all this money, and it was coming, the annual payments, people were smoking. By the way, it was based on cigarette sales, so that's an important factor in this. And everything's hunky-dory, but the thing is, these states that were getting it were kind of spending it before they got it. I think it was in like the bonds of some sort. So moving on to today, people aren't smoking as much, therefore the sales are down, therefore tobacco is paying less to these states through the MSA, and these states are now in kind of default of what they owe, kind of, what they've spent before they're getting it, and they now owe, they're in debt. So, if they're in default, or they are struggling to make repayments, or they don't make repayments, these states can probably, I'd say, more or less gone bankrupt, pretty much, be skint. And obviously the blame for the decline in the smoking is vaping. So again, another competitor, like I said about the India malarkey, they want to eradicate it. But they're not doing what India done, obviously not just going ban it, because, I think it's a more democratic society, whatever, not slating India of course, but so they're doing it slowly by, vaping bans and all this stuff. And to top it all off, we've had a few deaths in America. I believe it was 7, and I'm seeing it was vaping. But it turns out that these people who have died or are now ill or suffering with lung diseases were vaping on illegal THC pod systems. So because they've ingested it through a vape, it's now been linked to vaping and stigmatized with vaping. So this is when America have kind of hit the panic button and start banning this, banning that, banning flavours quick and all this. But if you notice, if you look at some of the American reviewers like Jay Hayes and Grim Green, they had an image of a map of the United States, and the states that were highlighting in red are the states that are doing the flavour bans, or pushing for the flavour bans. And guess what? Them states are the ones that are signed up to the MSA, the Master Settlement Agreement. So again, it's not fucking rocket science, people. These, they don't give a monkey's chucky about public health. They want it's the dollar, it's the money. That's all it is. It's the same. In America, you've got big tobacco, you've got big pharma. They work hand in hand. Big tobacco causes the illness. Big pharma makes the drugs to treat the illness. So, like you can see, the smoking is dropping. So therefore, there's less people to fix, type of thing. Excuse that beeping in the background, it's my doorbell. So there you have it. It's all about the dollar, people. They don't give a monkeys about you. Because the excuses, they say it's a vaping teens and all that stuff. Yeah, so, it's a bit hypocritical over there. They're banning it because of the teens, but, you can ban it for... There's too many comparisons that you could ban and they don't. Smoking, you get underage smoking, they don't ban smoking. The obesity crisis, all the fast foods. Obesity causes, all sorts of illnesses, deaths, and, illnesses related to it and all that. But do they ban all the fast food joints? Do they ban, the burger joints? Do they ban? No. At the end of the day, they want you ill, so, they can make money. There's big money in it, and that's what it's all about. So, I think here in the UK we are very lucky. I think we're the only country on this planet that's got a bit of common sense, that have researched vaping a bit more thoroughly than all the other countries on the planet. And I hope people can learn from us and, eventually relax these laws that they're putting in and the bans they're putting in, and, realise how good vaping is for you as an aid, to stop smoking. I mean, the flavour bans, they only want tobacco and I think menthol. What is the point of giving up tobacco to go and vape tobacco? Pointless. I never used tobacco flavours when I gave up. Never. All I did was flavours. If it wasn't for flavours, I probably wouldn't have given up, because I thought tobacco and menthol were disgusting. So, it's just my my penny's worth on it. What I can make of it. pretty mad out there at the moment, so I'll leave it at that. If if you've got any views or you disagree with some reviews, please post a comment, etc. Much appreciated. But I'll call it a day for now. So I've been Kenny, the Vaping Heed. Stay safe, vape safe. I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Cheers now. Bye.